first news item today is that the Department of State recently issued its annual terrorism report, a report on global terrorism, international terrorism. Its significant points, in my opinion, are that, as we've been hearing from many sources, Al-Qaeda Central is weakening, but Al-Qaeda affiliates are strengthening. The report says, quote, that the affiliates constitute an enduring and serious threat to our national security, and Al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula is a particularly serious threat. We've spoken about Ibrahim al-Asiri, who's the AQAP's bomb maker, and they're becoming more and more of a threat. The report made special mention of Boko Haram in Nigeria and stated it is believed that Boko Haram has ties to Al-Qaeda. The report spent significant time and used harsh language on Iran, saying that Iran is the world's leading sponsor of terrorist activity. It trains the Taliban in Afghanistan, allows Al-Qaeda to funnel money and operatives to Southeast Asia. And the report said, referring back to that plot in D.C. where Iran attempted to assassinate the Saudi ambassador, the report said that the plot underscored anew Iran's interest in using terrorism, including against the U.S., to further its foreign policy goals. So that's the Department of State's recent annual global terrorism report. May I point out that the report uses the statutory language to define international terrorism, and this is significant. The definition it uses for international terrorism is terrorism involving citizens or territory of more than one country. Now, when you deal with statistics, there are people who say, look, based on the statistics, it proves that Islamic terrorism is not the worst threat because more people are killed in certain other types than Islamic terrorism. But if you think about it, the definition that they use, that international terrorism is when it is terrorism that involves the citizen or territory of more than one country. If a domestic terrorist attack happens in a foreign country and a citizen of another country happens to be there, then that will be considered an act of international terrorism, even though the group perpetrating the act had no intention of becoming internationalized, so to speak. So the definition, so that the statistics in the report depend on the definition of international terrorism that's being used. The head of the Transportation Security Administration stated in a public lecture that the AQAP, again, the Ibrahim al-Asiri, the AQAP bomber who built the Abdul Muttalib bomb, and the other bomb where he equipped and sent his brother to try to kill the Saudi prince. They're now using a different type of explosive which requires recalibration of their equipment to detect the explosive, and they're using a more sophisticated trigger. And speaking of Syria, Kofi Annan, who was the joint special envoy of the UN and Arab League to Syria, resigned a few days ago. He wrote an article entitled "My Departing Advice on How to Save Syria" in the Financial Times. Friday, the General Assembly passed a resolution condemning the Security Council for not passing sanctions or condemning Syria. Russia and China used its veto on those issues.